Big night tonight. Lots of fascinating conversation and information, insight, and data that can help you make better decisions. It just gets crazier out there. I honestly don't even know where to begin to assess Hillary Clinton. It just gets nuttier and nuttier. Here's another angle. You remember how they were screaming about Trump's university problems? Well, as you know, I think if you follow Rense.com or listen to Gerald Celente, you know what's going on. You get the facts, the data, the truth. Hillary's university scam. Bill Clinton bagged $16.46 million from a for-profit college hustle, as the State Department, meanwhile, funneled $55 million back. This is massive crime compared to what they're saying Trump University is involved with. Here's another little quickie. As a political mainstay for over 2 decades now, that's right, she's been here 2 decades, Hillary has gone out of her way to give off the impression that she is a woman of the people. She really cares about the people. She even tried to convince the voting public that the Clintons were, this is a quote, dead broke after leaving the White House. She yaks and yaks and yaks. She said, here's another quote, I know how important it is that we get the campaign's resources from people just like you. People who go in and chip in $5 and $25. I'm grateful to every one of you. She said that while wearing a Giorgio Armani tweed jacket that cost $12,495. How much can America take, Gerald, of this? This woman is as phony as any political figure in American history, and it just gets worse.
Well, you know, it's the presidential reality show. Truth has nothing to do with anything, and you know, I mean, she's following the one of the great liars of all time, Barack Obama, lied his way into office.
Yeah, who's campaigning for her now? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you know, he was the anti-war president, remember?
Oh yeah.
And as soon as he got in, we had 35,000 troops into Afghanistan. Over 1,000 American soldiers died, tens of thousands of Afghans. You're looking now, by the way, at Afghanistan. It's estimated 1,000 people a week are leaving Afghanistan. They wonder why they have a refugee crisis in Europe. I can't figure it out. Maybe, Jeff, we should put together a blue ribbon commission to figure out that if you bomb countries into oblivion like they did in Libya, Iraq, Syria, and you know, I mean, Hillary Clinton. I mean, you're talking about, you know my campaign slogan, you know, Hillary, and you look at the blood on her hands. You know, when she was down, they were concerned she'd lose California, and she made a speech over there in San Diego that was aimed at the military.
Yeah,
and this is just a week ago. And she said that the election, quote, is a choice between a fearful America that's less secure and less engaged in the world and a strong, confident America that leads to keep our country safe and our economy going. And she criticized Trump for dangerously incoherent lies and said that he was temperamentally unfit to hold the office that you ready for this? That requires knowledge, stability, and immense responsibility.
Oh my God.
Now here she is. Gaddafi has to go, and you know that wonderful clip of her when they asked her how she felt when that Gaddafi was, killed and sodomized, and she said, "We came, we saw, he died, he." And she, of course, along with Samantha Power, Susan Rice, were the ones that were the proponents of the overthrow of Gaddafi, who did nothing to anybody.
Sure.
And it was the richest country in Africa. Now it's totally destabilized in chaos. And then you have the refugee problem. When when Gaddafi was in charge, he made a deal with Italy that none of the migrants would be floating out of Libya into Italy.
Yeah.
And he kept by the deal. Now, of course, they're flooding in at record numbers, and they can't stop them. Then we go to Hillary in Syria. They wonder why they have a refugee problem. Oh, only about, I think it's up to about 13 million now Syrian refugees, about 320,000 dead. And where are they going? Well, they're going to Europe. I wonder why. Well, the United States, and thanks to Hillary and Barack Obama, Assad has to go. So they're bombing that place. Backtrack Barack lied, and he said that we would not be putting boots back on the ground into Iraq. And they're there. So here's Hillary making this speech. Now, I'm mentioning this because, as I said, they're all liars, and they lie their way into office. When she was trying to beat B.S. Bernie, she was playing the role, and you could find the video of her saying it, that she's a progressive liberal. A progressive liberal that says things like, if America doesn't lead, we leave a vacuum, and it will either cause chaos or other countries will rush to fill the void.
Mm-hmm.
Then they'll be the ones making decisions about your lives, your jobs, and your safety. And trust me, the choices they make will not be to our benefit. Trust her. Her trust rating is 64% of the population doesn't trust her.
That's right.
And so what she's doing is she's saying that we have to get more involved, abandoning our allies in NATO, the countries that work with us to root out terrorists abroad before they strike us at home. And, she's going on, that we have to become more militarized.
Mm-hmm.
And here she plays the role, and the liberals buy it, that she is a progressive liberal.
I honest to God don't know if I can think of one thing that wretch has said that is true.
No, I know. And again,
I can't think of anything.
It's one lie after another. Remember, she was against gay marriages, and then, of course, when election time came around, she was for them. She was for the Iraq War, and then she calls it a mistake. Look, sociopaths never admit that they lie or they were wrong.
Never. And they all project. She's projecting. Every time she criticizes Trump, usually the criticism will overlay her perfectly. She projects her own behavior. It's classic textbook psychopathy. She's projecting her own problems on Trump and other people. The woman she's more than a liar, Gerald. We got to come up with a new word. Maybe our blue ribbon commission can come up with a new word.
Well, I think we need a whole new word to describe politicians.
There you go.
It's too passive of a word. I think a more appropriate word, for example, would be scumbags.
Oh, that's too nice. Oh God, we're on the air here, but we could do much better.
I think you could say that. I think that's an okay word to say.
We can say scumbags. I would. They're all sons of bitches. How's that? Is that okay?
No. Because it's really they're really a low life of being. Most of them.
Yeah, dirtbag, scumbag, fine.
Yeah, they're and when you look at Clinton, for example, I mean, she's a war criminal. Can't you call a war criminal a scumbag? I mean, she supported every war the United States has conducted, and you mentioned she's been around for 25 years.
Oh yeah,
and she's an advocate of the U.S. war in Yugoslavia.
Remember, she pulled the trigger on Waco, Gerald. She ordered those men, women, and children to be fried in their bunker. She caused that. She
Well, again,
executed them. She's a killer.
everyone. I mean, that's what I'm. Look, as I said, Bill Clinton launched the war in Yugoslavia. She supported that. She supported Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya. How much more blood on a person's hands do you need to look at before you could call her a murderer and a war criminal? And along again with Bush and Obama and the Clintons. I mean, the list is long. You know, I'm not saying she's alone in this, but here she is playing the role as, oh, isn't it wonderful that a woman, history is made. Yeah, history is made, and we had a black guy that we elected. It doesn't make a difference what your race, what your gender, what your creed is. It makes absolutely no difference. Liars, frauds, freaks, cowards, and fools come in all genders, races, creeds, and colors.
Yep. So do psychopaths, murderers, and economic criminals of the first magnitude. How much has the Clinton Foundation taken in just from the Gulf states? Over $100 million. Look,
I think just the Clintons themselves made, about $150 million.
I think that's a correct figure. And then,
and just for giving speeches when you can hear them BS for free all day long.
Yeah, and Bill's flying far more often to Jeffrey Epstein's perverted Paradise Island than he originally admitted to. This guy is a sex-sick psychopath addict.
They're disgusting people.
The new Secret Service book, did you read it? Have you seen it?
No,
any reviews?
No.
Yeah, I've read snippets of it. She beat the hell out of him several times. She's a violent woman. And by the way,
she's a war criminal.
Oh, absolutely. Spousal abuse is, when it affects men, is one of the biggest secrets in America. Now maybe Bill, in her mind, had it coming. Maybe she caught him with his zipper down once too often. I don't know. I don't care. But this new book written by a Secret Service agent called Crisis in Character, I believe, is must reading. It's really upset the Hillary.
I've heard a lot about it.
Yeah, it's upset the Hillary camp a lot because it's the truth. It's like Gary Aldrich's book about the Clintons, the FBI agent who was stationed in the White House. He went public with it, but this is apparently far beyond that. She is really a sick piece of garbage, dirtbag, scumbag, whatever. Yeah,
well,
it makes me sick.
Look at this country.
I'm so ashamed of our country.
Oh my God, this is both of them. I don't support either of them.
I understand. I understand. Yep.
I won't vote for either one of them. And I was mentioning Obama, and the liar that he is, and it's just, on Memorial Day, we don't have to, remember he promised, I mean, everybody can listen to the tapes, we play them on Trends in the News, of Obama vowing that we weren't going to have troops back on the ground in Iraq. And here's the quote on Memorial Day. In Iraq, this is him speaking, in Iraq, 3 Americans have given their lives in combat on our behalf. And today I ask you to remember their stories as well. This is on Memorial Day. This is from the Washington Post, so this isn't, I'm not making this stuff up. Now here he says 3 Americans have given their lives in combat on our behalf. They did not give their lives on my behalf. I want to make that 100% clear. These are illegal wars. They're unjust wars. We're occupying foreign nations and have no business being there. And he lied. He said we would not have troops on the ground, and we do.
Yeah. He doesn't care about those people dying. He doesn't care about those people dying.
Of course
he
not.
Doesn't give a rat's butt about those people dying. None of them.
Of course not.
Smedley Butler was right. It hasn't changed. It's gotten worse. All wars are fought for the globalist corporate entities that run this show, and fewer and fewer of them.
War is a racket.
Yeah.
End of story. So we're into this political year. Now, here's the other thing. Just 2 things I like to mention about it. Number one, never before in modern history have we seen violence between the candidates' camps. This is brand new. Everybody says, yeah, but what about 1968? That was different. It wasn't violence aimed between camps.
Correct.
It was the protest against the Vietnam War.
Good point.
And that's totally different. Number 2, the Clinton-Trump debates are going to bring in a bigger viewing audience than the biggest Super Bowl ever.
You got that right.
It is going to be, it is the presidential reality show.
Can you imagine the commercials that Trump could come up with on her? All the stuff that's been swept under the rug. How about Vince Foster? Let's exhume Vince and do another autopsy on him. I mean, there's so many things they can do. That's one of the bigger lies, too. Ron Brown. They took that whole plane down that Hillary flew on, I think, 2 weeks before, Air Force Two, they called it, killed everybody on board except for the stewardess, who they killed when they rescued her. Ron Brown was found with a bullet hole or something round shot right down through the top of his head. They got a special forces team there, went through that wreckage, found he was apparently still alive or wanted to make sure he wasn't, shot him right through the top of the head. They think it may have been an ice pellet, which can penetrate. They have them super hard, and then they melt. There's no bullet fragments. Anyway, look, the Clinton death list is a major Hollywood movie. Just the death list.
Well, the death list of look at the wars.
Yeah, of course.
Look what people forget that Bill Clinton a death list. I mean, look what he did in Iraq.
A million people minimum. A million.
Yeah, as soon as he got elected, he was bombing away at Baghdad. People forget this. And also the sanctions that he put on the Iraqis, and there's that clip of Madeline not all that bright. When they said is the cost of 500,000 Iraqi children under the age of 5 worth of sanctions, and she said yes, it is.
That woman, there's no place hot enough in hell for that wretch, and nowhere.
I know. These and it's one after another. And all the Bernie supporters out there, BS Bernie, I voted against the Iraq War. Hey, you voted for everything that Bill Clinton did when you were a congressman, including the Yugoslav war. You voted for the Afghan war. You voted for every war budget. You already on the campaign trail. You support what Obama's doing in Syria, in Libya, and Afghanistan.
Nobody talks about that.
You're a lying little Coney Island clown.
You got it.
I saw guys like you when I grew up around. We used to go to Coney Island. We lived in the Bronx. And I saw guys like him on the boardwalk selling crap, and that's all he's doing. Mm-hmm. And the people believe his baloney. And our forecast, by the way, we think that she's going to pick him for the vice president because
I think the deal's being made right now.
He'll sucker in all those people that believe in him.
All those kids.
Or not even kids. I know adults.
Yeah, well,
that believe his BS.
Yeah.
And so, she'll get that. Look, because the numbers too. I mean, less people are voting. Less people voted for.
1.5 million fewer votes she got in 2016 than 2008.
Yep. And let's see, what else? She received 1.5 million fewer.
That's right, 1.5 million.
In 2008. Yep, yeah. You're right. And the Democrats are down 7 million votes in total.
Yep.
So they need to bring in the people that are going to believe his believer BS, and they'll bring BS Bernie to do that. And
so what's it? There's no skin off her nose. They put him in the vice presidential slot. That office it's a nothing. They got the staff of 6 people. If they want to get rid of him, he has a little heart attack. They get rid of him. They do that all the time. That's why Trump, if you don't like Trump, whoever, I don't care, folks, whatever you want to vote your conscience. But
I'm not going to vote for either of them.
Yeah, Trump had to think about his surety of life. And that's why he didn't, I hope he realized that Newt Gingrich was not the right guy to put right behind him.
Oh, God, what a clown.
Oh, the one of the worst.
I mean,
and he turned down $200 million. Did you see that story? He was offered $200 million to put Newt on the ticket, and he said no. The story made the rounds all over the place 4 days ago.
Newt.
Neuter. The Newt. NAFTA Newt.
Yeah, Newted. Yeah, what a clown. They were all a bunch of clowns. It's a freak show.
Well, they're criminal clowns. That's the part that's
criminals.
Really bad.
You're right. You're right. So as we look at it, Sanders is going to be the vice presidential choice. He'll sucker in all those people that believe his BS. And a matter of fact, even in Today when he came out, he said, here's his quote, "I look forward to meeting with Clinton in the near future to see how we can work together to defeat Donald Trump." You ready?
There's your answer.
Here you go. And create a government which represents all of us and not just the 1%. Oh. Sanders told me. The 1%, like the Clintons, as you mentioned, are wearing an Armani, was a $12,495 jacket. Yeah. It's more than a lot of people make a year these days.
You just nailed it. Look, Gerald just said it. If you just tuned in, Gerald and I are trying to do a quick overview of some of the lowlights of this thing. It's going to be Bernie. There's no question. She'll put him on as vice president. She'll give him a little niche here or there. Give him a few. Toss him a bone or two to get him to shut up. He'll come on board. You watch. The question is this. We have to take a break. By the way, I have my new spring copy of the Trends Journal here. We'll talk about that too. Just absolutely fabulous. Fabulous. They're all great, but this is as good as they get. Does America have the stupidity to vote for an obvious, blatant, criminal career fraud like Hillary Clinton? Will America vote for that woman? Will they put that? And I don't care if it's a male or female. Let's put a woman in the White House. This is not the best we have. This woman should be in the big house wearing stripes. Okay? This is bad, folks. It's not a joke.